Cassidy off into the distance. And
Yo, YouTube, what is up? Radar 25 back in. My co-host, Michael Fontamania.
What up, Mox?
Guys, Wednesday Night Wars. We got the takeaways. We got 5 takeaways from Wednesday Night Wars, AEW Dynamite, NXT on USA. 2 halfway decent shows, not too much going on. NXT, the worst of the 2. I'll let you guys know now. AEW broke 1 million viewers last week. They won the ratings war again this week. They had the big parking lot brawl match, which we're going to get into. Put AEW pushing a new star big time. We'll get into that. We got a lot to talk about our girl Shotzy Blackheart and the North American title being a main event match on this episode of NXT. Tommaso Ciampa in action as well. Let's get into it. Before we do it, I remind you guys drop a like on this video and the previous videos that have dropped. If you're watching this video and not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and notification bell so you guys are notified when new videos drop. Follow me, social media, Instagram, Twitter. Follow my live streams on Twitch. I just appreciate any support there that I can get. It's all in the description below. Also pop on your screen. Hit us up in the Discord sub channel. Link in the description below. Wrestling Marks United. Jump in there. Chat with us about wrestling, current product, nostalgic stuff, whatever you guys want to talk about. But without further ado, guys, jump right into the video. Our 5 takeaways from the Wednesday Night Wars, NXT on USA, and AEW Dynamite. And we're going to start off with NXT and takeaway number 1. And it was the match between Shotzy Blackheart and Io Shirai. Non-title match, but a very, very good match, and it was a coming out party for our girl, Shotzy Blackheart. We've been behind her for a while. We love the tank. We love the whole shtick. She's our main girl on NXT. So she gets out there. She has a tremendous match against Io Shirai, non-title. Next week, they're going to have a number 1 contenders battle royal to see who faces Io Shirai. But yeah, this was her coming out party. She did a tremendous job. Io Shirai is an absolute tremendous in-ring performer. You know, at least like, you know, probably, you know, she is like top 5 female performer on the face of this planet. Shirai gets the win here, but it was all about Shotzy Blackheart getting the rub from Shirai.
Here tonight against the NXT Women's Champion. I mean, Wade, you got to take your hat off.
A tremendous performance and elevating her to the next level of stardom in the women's division on NXT. So I pick her as the woman who will win the Battle Royal, either her or Rhea Ripley.
This was definitely her coming out party. This is something where she's a prospect that's kind of reaching that blue chipper type style, and they're working her like, you know, this is her first play, her big time play. And I can see her in the not too distant future either winning the belt or being a main player in NXT with the women's title. So I'm excited for her. She's quirky, she's fun, she's wild, she has a weird gimmick, and it's even a Wade Barrett was like, she scares me because she's so weird. But it's cool, it's different, it's something we've never seen before. You never seen anybody come down in a little toy tank and driving it around, so it's always fun. She's definitely been a big part of the women's division in NXT for the last few months. So it's good for her. Is she gonna win next week? I don't think so. I think Rhea Ripley wins that. I think it's the inevitable match is Io versus Rhea Ripley. I think that's where they're gonna go with that. I think, but this is a good. She got her taste of big time matches with Io Shirai, and like, you know, this is something where like a learning curve and learning, and within a few months she could be right back in here for the title. So good job for her, good job NXT and pushing the women's division, and our girl Shotzy.
Yeah, big time thing. She was in the last season of Tough Enough. She had to leave because of injuries. Yeah. She wasn't able to compete the rest of the show, but now look where she's at. So hard work does pay off. So shout out Shotzy Blackheart, guys. That's takeaway number 1, the emergence of Shotzy Blackheart. Next thing on the show, we have Tommaso Ciampa going to give it Desmond Troy. Ciampa destroys him. Absolutely. Jake Atlas comes out after the match and challenges. Well, not challenge, but he calls out Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa beat the shit out of Jake Atlas a few weeks back, catapulting him underneath the ring. He challenges him later on. Jake Atlas walking in the parking lot. Tommaso Ciampa attacks him, and for some reason, Kyle O'Reilly's the guy to kind of break that up. I don't know why that was. I guess they just like, oh, he was the first guy I saw. Just come here, do this with us real quick.
Yeah, so, but they're heels. Like I don't know. I
don't understand it, but that's the thing. So Jake Atlas, Tommaso Ciampa is the feud. Next, we had Austin Theory call out a superstar from the back, and Kushida came out, answered the call. Kushida got the win. Kushida's kind of meandering around, but he's showing a bit of aggression lately, like especially against Velveteen.
A lot of aggression, not a bit, a lot.
Yeah, a lot of aggression. So yeah, a lot of aggression in intensity. So it's good to see, and we're waiting for the feud to start up between him and Velveteen Dream. He attacked Velveteen Dream last week. Next thing on the show was the NXT Tag Team Championship match: Breezango versus Imperium. Shout out to Breezango. I love Breezango. I really do. They came back as the Fashion Police this week. Interesting finish to the match. They had, he had Imperium had Tyler Breeze up in the air on top of the shoulders. Here comes a drop kick from Fandango, bumps into the other Imperium member on top of the turnbuckle. He falls off. Hurricane Rana by Tyler Breeze gets the pin. They retain the titles. Happy to see them retain the titles. I was kind of scared that they would lose it, but thank God they haven't. The only thing now is who faces them next, right? Because they don't have too many tag teams right now in NXT to see who will face them next. Imperium kind of run its course. They'll go back to NXT UK and deal with Walter and all that. So we'll see what happens. Does the Undisputed Era come back? We don't know. We'll see what happens. Next thing on the show, we had Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro versus Jesse Camilla and Xia Li. Tag team match was random. I don't know Xia Li and Camilla's the tag team now, but whatever. Carter and Catanzaro got the win. They tried to shake hands, but Xia Li wasn't having it. She left pretty upset. Xia Li, we haven't seen too much of her.
Wow.
But she's kind of more of an exciting prospect, so we'll see what she does after this. Next thing in the show, we had Drake Maverick showing up to the arena. He has a tag team match against Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong. His partner is supposed to be Killian Dane. He meets up with Killian Dane. Killian Dane says he's not going to tag with him, so Killian Dane allows Drake Maverick to get his ass beat by both Undisputed Era members. William Regal walks up to Killian Dane, tells him, are you going to let this happen? You going to let him get his ass beat like this? He unwillingly goes out and gets involved in the match not because he wants to help Drake Maverick, but because Undisputed Era talk trash to him. That happens. They end up getting the win, Dane and Maverick, and then Maverick gets dropped again by Killian Dane. So it's the reluctant tag team from Killian Dane. He doesn't want to join, but we all know he eventually will. Maybe this is the tag team that goes after Breezango. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Yeah. Next thing in the show is takeaway number 2. It is the NXT Championship match, NXT North American Championship match. Damien Priest, the champion, versus Timothy Thatcher. This was interesting, but in the fact that they made the NXT North American Championship seem very important here, and which is good because the secondary title, you want Damien Priest not to get lost in the shuffle as champion and diminish his run. His character's changed a little bit since he won a title. He has a little bit more like bravado to him, more like a swagger to him rather than what he had before. Not really sure what he is doing. I mean, like he seems like he's becoming a babyface, and I'm not sure if they're trying to make him like in the same vein as a Razor Ramon because they did bring up a machismo line, the announcers when he came out. So solid match. Damien Priest retains, but I do like how they're showcasing the title in this way, being as it didn't have the NXT champion Finn Balor on the show, only in a video segment.
Yeah, I thought it was a great little thing to do, was have this title mean something, because this title is important. It catapults guys to NXT Championship. That's the goal of this title. It's the workers' title. So what the IC belt used to do, it used to mean something, and Triple H gets it, and they're making sure that this belt feels important, and you can create stars from it. Damien Priest now is more viable. The longer he's champion, the more he defends it. He can catapult himself to be an NXT champion one day, or being in that picture, creating more stars. That's the whole goal of this, is to create more stars, and that's what the belt's doing. The match was good. I like Thatcher's style. There were some weird little segments in the match, but other than that, it was a really fun little match. It was definitely weird to have that match versus what AEW was doing as their main event. It was like just not really equal. But I understand they had a gimmick match on AEW that was pretty crazy, and this was just like a routine match. But it was what it was. It was solid. Nothing great, but it was solid. But the most important thing is we're keeping the North American Championship important, and we're making Priest developing his role as champion. So good job.
Yes. Good job on what it accomplished. Because like I said, you don't want to get the thing lost in the shuffle. The championship not mean much.
Like the IC belt and the US title, they just become
exactly. It'll hurt the performer wearing the title. Also hurt the title in and of itself. So we'll see where the character's going. Damien Priest has changed a bit since he won the title. Babyface. Let's see how they go with it. I mean, he does have a Hispanic background, so we'll see what they do with it. It's pretty interesting. But the machismo line I found the most interesting of all. But let's see what happens with Damien Priest and North American title going forward. Who will be his next challenger, and what feud will he get into next? Let's jump right into AEW. That was NXT. We're going to jump into AEW Dynamite and immediately get to take away number 3, because the show started off as AEW normally does. Well, it seems to be more often than not. I mean, they always start with a match, but it seems more often than not Jurassic Express is in the ring when this show starts.
I mean, it's usually a tag team match. It's either a 6-man or just
it's never really just a singles. Yeah, it's always just a tag team.
Never. I can't remember a time there was a singles match on the show.
Yeah. Now, the show starts off Jurassic Express in the ring. They're going to face FTR in a non-title match. Here come the Young Bucks to interrupt. They get in the ring, and for no reason whatsoever, last week they super kicked Alex Marvez in the face. This week they super kicked
he deserved it, though.
On duty. Well, Marvez deserves everything he gets. Yeah. But the referee gets double super kicked by the Young Bucks. Here they leave. They seem dejected and not really like caring too much. They go into the back use, and this is the first time you actually see the gorilla position or whatever they're calling in AEW. Be it
con position,
the con position, be it a COVID version of it, right?
Yeah.
Social distancing and all that other stuff. Now you see Tony Khan there. They throw a stack of money, the Young Bucks do, on Tony Khan, who does the worst acting job I've ever seen in my entire life.
What a nerd!
Matt He just threw a stack of bills at Tony Khan.
At least you picked on the biggest guy in the building. Are you upset? Is your little group not?
Yeah, what a nerd.
Who knew that guy was like GM of the Jaguar gym of Fulham? He's like the biggest nerd.
I probably wouldn't have him do any on-cam work after that. They throw the money there because they know he's going to get fined. They got fined last week for Alex Marvez attack. And then they run into FTR, and FTR, pretty much just talks a bunch of trash to them, and they just seem upset. They seem like they're going in a heel turn. The Elite is fractured. It's broken. And Cody hasn't seen Cody for a while. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page are splitting up. You have the Bucks in a spot where they don't know what to do. I hope they go a heel, like a really mean, nasty heel route rather than like a whiny, bitchy way they've been going lately.
Well, so far they're the whiny and bitchy, but
so far, yeah. But we'll see what they do. Like, let's see what they're gonna go with now, and are they gonna continue to attack officials or what? But it's interesting to see the heel turn going on by the Young Bucks.
Yeah, I think they're just angry. They haven't won the tag team championships. It's been a year of AEW. They've been kind of like, other teams have gotten the upper hand on them. A lot of other teams have beaten them. So they're just kind of in that mood where they're angry. They used to be the number one tag team in the world, but right now they're not that. And I think they're showing that, and I think it's cool. Well, right now they're kind of whiny, but I think they'll get angry, and once they cut like a promo of like what's going on with them and the whole thing, it'll add to that FTR versus the Young Bucks feel. Well, you figure one day the Bucks will be tag team champs. I know they're the boys with the pencils, basically. They're upper management, so they can't really have the belts that much, but. I mean, they're the Bucks. They've been one of the best tag teams, if not the best tag team for the last like decade. So it kind of is what it is. But yeah, I mean, we'll see where this goes. I am enjoying like the whininess, not so much, but I do like that we're seeing a different type of Bucks that are like the same YouTube guys or just super kicking and having a good time and just being just knocking off every tag team ever. In a good way. I mean that. I don't mean that in a bad way. But let's see where that goes. And FTR are champs, and that's kind of the match everybody wants to see is Bucks versus FTR. That's what everybody wants to see.
Yeah, we're just in a holding pattern waiting for that to happen. That's takeaway number 3. The heel turn continues from the Bucks. Next thing on the show, well, obviously, next thing on the show, Jurassic Express waiting in the ring. FTR comes out. They have a match. Another fast-paced, typical AEW match. You have FTR kind of slowing things down, but they are kind of adapting more to that AEW style slowly.
I think they have to. Too many guys are just spot monkeys.
Yeah, they have to because, I think the clash of styles is going to mess too much. But FTR gets the win. We'll see where they go from here. Does Jurassic Express get a title shot, or do they go straight to the Bucks? Or we'll see what happens going into the next pay-per-view coming up. FTR, past 5 years, best tag team on the planet. So we'll see where FTR goes from here and their heel run as tag team champions. Next thing on the show, we had Frankie Kazarian versus Adam Hangman Page. I do not like Hangman Page in long tights.
I kind of like it. I think that's right.
I'm not a fan of it with the cowboy tassel things on it.
I'm digging it. I think it's different. I think it's cool.
Not a huge fan. Kenny Omega is on commentary here, obviously dejected by the whole thing. Very, very good match between Hangman and Frank Kazarian. Obviously, two professional, tremendous in-ring performers. Hangman Page is the buckshot lariat to get the win. The exchange before the buckshot lariat was kind of odd. I didn't really like the exchange too much, but he hit it, got the win. Kenny just walked off the commentary booth, and that was pretty much it. He didn't acknowledge Hangman. He just left. We'll see where they go from here. I don't really know where they're going to go with this. I mean, do they end up fighting each other? Like, Kenny wants to be by himself. Hangman's kind of like in the middle, in between. But Hangman just drank a beer at the end of this match, and that was pretty much it.
I mean, he was looking around like, where the hell can he go? And my only little gripe with this thing was at the end, why is Aubrey Edwards like always behind them? Like we know he won. Like, why do you keep doing it? Like, just walk away. You're in the shot. And I mean, I like Aubrey Edwards, but like, why are you in that shot? Get the hell out of the way.
It's just reinforcing that he won, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
that's just, come on.
Now, next thing on the show is MJF versus a random guy. Whatever. He beat the shit out of him. Ended that real quick. He cuts a promo, another great promo from MJF talking about he should be the rightful champion. Moxley cheated at their match at All Out, and he calls himself the undisputed, uncrowned AEW champion of All Elite Wrestling, which makes no sense that he would say AEW champion of All Elite Wrestling. It's there in the title already, but whatever. He has Justin Roberts say it, and that's pretty much it.
He's a heel. He can say
defeated, undisputed, uncrowned world champion of All Elite Wrestling, MJF.
Whatever the hell he wants. That's the beauty of being a heel. This guy cheated. He's still a champ. That's all it says. He's a champ.
So we'll see when he gets his next shot at the championship after this and where he goes from here. He talked about putting a stable together because now it's funny because he brings it up that AEW is all about stables and factions, which is obviously true. So he's talking about getting his own. We'll see what the members are that he will add to his stable. That should be the most interesting thing going forward on AEW for the most part, is who this man will put in his stable and what he will do with them, because it's stable versus stable versus stable versus stable on AEW. So we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of stables, we have Private Party going up against Chris Jericho and Jake Hager of a stable, the Inner Circle. Before this match, Matt Hardy dropped. I thought Matt Hardy wasn't going to be seen on TV for a while because he's, nursing the injuries that he sustained, but he's on TV. You see him laying on the ground, knee hurting. Somebody attacked him. It was obviously Jericho and Hager. They have the match against Private Party. Now, Michael, we're not huge fans of Private Party. We like Mark Quinn out of the two the best. Isaiah Cassidy, I think, is the weakest link out of the two. Yep. But, they look a little bit better with their punching, especially, Isaiah Cassidy he strengthened some stuff up, but it's still kind of like lacking in certain spots. The match was what it was. Nothing really great. It was kind of awkward at times. It was kind of like weird, very like setting up spots, a lot of stuff in between.
And that's one of the problems too. Everything they do feels set up. It all feels like gymnastics. It's just like I don't want to be Vader talking about, what's his face? Ricochet and who was he fighting in Japan? They're flying around, whatever.
Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay. Like, I don't want to be that, but just there's a lot of times where the Private Party just look really like they don't lay their shit in. Everything looks soft, or you can tell people are setting stuff up and waiting for things. And I hate that because it just takes you out of like the match. It just feels like they're just they're just doing a show. It just doesn't. I know it's a show, but you don't want it to feel that way. Yeah.
Now after the match, Chris Jericho and Jake Hager won the match, and after they attacked Isaiah Cassidy in the ring, Mark Quinn came in, saved Isaiah Cassidy from Chris Jericho, and they left. So we'll see. Maybe when Matt Hardy's healthy, they do 6-man tags, Private Party with Matt Hardy versus Sammy G, Jake Hager, and Chris Jericho. We'll see what goes on from there. They announced that Chris Jericho will be in the ring with a promo next week. So let's see what he talks about. They are going for the tag team titles, they said. So we'll see what happens with that. Next in the show, we have Thunder Rosa, the NWA Women's Champion, having a match against Eva Lise, and this is for the NWA Women's Championship. Interesting to see that they're defending that title on the show, but the cross promotion continues. We'll see if NWA does anything, with AEW. But NWA obviously getting the rub from AEW. The matches was very, very good, very solid physical match. Two very good performers who lay their shit in. They have a specific style and they mesh well with each other. Thunder Rosa got the win here with the Tombstone Piledriver, and then we had Diamante come out and attack Thunder Rosa. Shida in the crowd helps Thunder Rosa and, gives her back her title, a show of respect and everything like that. So, it was what it was, but the match was very good. But after the stuff, it's okay. But they set up a tag team match for next week, Eva Lise Diamante versus Thunder Rosa and Shida. So Thunder Rosa is kind of sticking around. We'll see what happens. I don't know if you do Thunder Rosa versus Shida again. I don't know. And
there's not much else. So you might
I guess. I don't know what happened with Britt Baker. Honestly, I don't know if she get hurt again. I have no idea, but we'll see what happens with that.
She hasn't been seen.
Yeah. So that was what it was, but very, very good match. Next thing in the show, we had Lance Archer with Jake Roberts in the ring. They're cutting a promo and they're talking about putting a tag team together to face Moxley, and they join forces as of right now with Taz, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks. Now, the whole thing is that if the agreement is that Archer wins the championship, Brian Cage gets his first shot at the championship. Not the greatest thing in the world. They really really blundered the whole Brian Cage thing after he went for the title. He really hasn't been felt that important afterwards. The FCW Championship's the most useless title I've ever seen. It's more useless 24/7 Championship, and that's a useless ass belt. Yeah. So it's amazing.
At least that changes hands, and there's actually a fall for it.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is what it is. But guys, we're gonna jump into takeaway number 4 of the Wednesday Night Wars, and that is because we have a big push for a new superstar into AEW. Now, Jon Moxley comes out. He gets attacked in the crowd by Ricky Starks and Brian Cage. They're attacking him, beating the living hell out of him. They throw him through this random box that's there, a really staged setup box. But then we have Will Hobbs show up with the chair in hand and fend off both Cage and Starks.
Whoa. Oh, look at Will Hobbs. Watch. Will Hobbs with a chair. Oh!
Come on, get out of there, guys.
Will Hobbs. Chair under the jaw. It's willpower. Swing it, Billy.
Really fired up Will Hobbs. This guy was fired up to be there. He was really fired up. Now, Moxley hugs him. You know, he thanks him for his help, and that's his partner now. Will Hobbs is the partner for Jon Moxley against the other 3, along with Darby Allin. So it'll be Darby Allin, Jon Moxley, and Will Hobbs against Lance Archer, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks. This is a big push for a guy that's just coming into the company.
Huge push.
Be thrown in like a top feud along with the champion and Darby Allin, who's like one of the top stars in AEW. This big time stuff right there for Will Hobbs. So shout out to him. He's there, really fired up for this segment. But like, I like his intensity. And let's see what they do with him after this. But I want to see, there's a big time push for him.
Yeah, my one critique about this was the fact that it was an interview with just the heels in the ring. You had Archer and Cage and Taz and Jake, right? And then all of a sudden, here comes Mox from this random door that nobody knew he was coming out of, but behind him are Ricky Starks hiding back there. So it's like, but you didn't know he was coming through there, so why are you hiding behind there?
You're probably stalking him for a while.
I guess, but it felt. I was like, what? Why are they there? Why are they there? Like, I get it if he was coming from like the ramp or something where you figure they'd be, but like, I don't know. That was kind of weird. It threw me off a little bit. That's just me critiquing. It's wrestling. I should have really looked that far into it, but why are we doing this huge tag team thing? I guess. I mean, I don't love it. I'd rather just see Archer and Mox go. I don't really need Brian Cage and Starks all being involved let's start a new faction of another faction. And then Jon Moxley starts his faction with Hobbs. I'm liking the Hobbs kid. I want to see more of him. He came out, kicked some ass, looks good, looks huge, kind of looks like Keith Lee's little brother. I dig it. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what happens. Him, Darby Allin bringing back all 3 of them versus. It should be interesting little gang war. I guess it's a little transition, going towards
they have so much time to kill from now to October 14th, so a month's time.
To figure stuff to do. Do I need to see this whole thing? Not really. There's so many tag team matches, so many groups. It's a little bit of overkill right now with the groups. A lot of groups. Groups are fun, but you don't need. I think there's probably like one person. I think it's MJF. That's not part of a group right now.
And he's gonna start one.
He's gonna start a group, it's a lot of groups. Like we don't need that. Everybody doesn't have to be part of a gang. Like it feels a little too much right now. A lot of tag teams, a lot of 6-man tags. This was the first week in a while we didn't see a 6-man tag, so it was good. There was a nice change of pace there. But again, like you said, we have so much time to kill till a championship match, so there's something to do. We'll see where it goes. It could be great, could be bad. We'll see. That's what. But it's something, it's something. And we got a new star coming in Hobbs. Let's see what he becomes, and more of Darby Allin's always good. So.
Yeah, well, you got Hobbs debuting at All Out in the Casino Battle Royal. Yeah. Now he's in this big time program. All these guys were in the, they had a lot of guys were in the Casino Battle Royal themselves. So, minus Moxley. So there's a lot there. Eddie Kingston still staking claim that he's, whole thing happened. So let's talk about so that's takeaway number 4. Will Hobbs being thrown into a big time feud and a big push. But he's a good-looking guy, has a ton of fire. I want to see how he does in those bigger spots. Now, I do want to talk about this Eddie Kingston segment that happened. He comes out with, the Lucha Bros and Butcher and Blade. Talks some shit. Talks about how he wasn't eliminated. And then he just beat up these random guys in the crowd, whooped their ass. And then they just leave. I'm not really sure what this whole thing is about, what Eddie Kingston's whole plan is with this whole thing. He said, after he told I think it was
Blade.
He told Blade, he was like, oh, we got all our stuff together, now it's time to get your house in order. It's all like, secretive stuff. I don't know what the hell they're talking about, what the hell they're doing, but it is what it is. I mean, that's what's going on right now with Eddie Kingston and the whole crew of those
he's
guys.
a good promo. I like hearing him talk.
He's a good promo.
I'm interested in he gets me intrigued of what he's saying. What the hell they're doing, who the fuck knows? Honestly, I guess we'll figure it out soon enough.
Sooner or later. Guys, to get takeaway number 5 is the main event. It's the hottest thing on both shows from this past Wednesday. And it was the parking lot brawl between Santana and Ortiz and the best friends Chuck Taylor and Trent. Now, this match was crazy. They had all these cars circled around, and then they had fans there cheering and stuff like that. So they're going all over the place. They're beating the living shit out of each other. And maybe it went a little bit too long, maybe like a couple minutes too long.
Like 3 or 4 minutes too long.
Because there's so many spots that how does that because this is a problem with these matches. You do this shit, and it was super entertaining, which is what it was.
It was good. And we love the fact that they killed each other and took like 5 years off their careers for this match.
Yeah, and it shows the different best friends in a different light because they're very playful, always hugging and doing all that shtick. But this was more serious, at least towards the end. The end was different, but the whole match was serious from the best friends. But the thing is, they do these big moves on top of cars and they kick out of these moves. It's like you see them get hit with a DDT in the ring by John Moxley, and it's like, oh, that's the end of the match. You know what I'm saying? It's like psychology wise, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it is what it is. You need these gimmick matches, I guess, to fill out certain things and make things not so monotonous and interesting. But it served its purpose. It was super, super entertaining. I don't know why Santana and Ortiz were wearing that white face paint. They look like kind of like Sting or something like that.
No, it's from the movie Dead Presidents. So in the movie when they're doing the bank heist,
I never seen it, but whatever.
You never seen that movie? What the hell's the matter with you?
I never seen that movie. I had to check it out, but whatever. That they came out like that. They were, they had the face paint. Crazy match. The most insane spot in this match was Ortiz powerbombs Trent on top of a car.
Oh yeah.
He rolls off, and then Santana and Ortiz double powerbomb Trent onto the front windshield of the car.
Motivate Ortiz. Yeah, they're singling out Trent here. Looks like they're setting him up for that double.
That was an insane spot. Chuck Taylor got dropped in the hood of a car earlier too. He kicked out. Well, he got dropped on top and then he got splashed.
Santana splashed him. It was nuts because Santana splat who was it? I think Ortiz suplexed him on there. I felt like he messed up his arm because he was like feeling his arm, wasn't moving it weird. But then Ortiz also smashed himself into when he fell on the roof, the back windshield exploded right on Ortiz too. So it was just it was nasty. Black glass all in the back. It was just like, damn. Yeah, they were tearing each other up. It was like it was a fight. And they said a fight, and it was a fight.
Yeah, they were beating the living shit out of each other. So they did a good job making everything look real.
Shit was real.
Yeah, shit was real. But just playing out the intensity and the real blood feud between them. Now, this is the biggest spot of the match, and the biggest spot was the throwing through the windshield with ball power bomb. But this is the biggest I guess reaction of the match is. You got Chuck Taylor up against the back of the trunk of a car. Santana's got a pipe. He's going to hit Chuck Taylor with it and pretty much murder him, I guess. The trunk opens up, and Orange Cassidy's been chilling inside that trunk the entire time. He has his hand wrapped in a chain, hits the Superman punch.
What is that? It's Orange Cassidy! What the hell? Oh, the Orange punch!
And knocks him out. And then this leads to the finish of the match where Trent... They have this piece of wood that's laid over a bed of a pickup truck, and then
because why not?
Yeah, and then Trent drops Ortiz through the piece of wood, and pretty much sits on his face and pins him.
Trent, what in the hell? He's got Ortiz. Oh, 1, 2, 3.
If you look at the angle, it looks like he sits on his face, and then he pins him, and that's the end of the match. So Trent, the best friends. They win the match. This is the funniest part of the match, though. This is the money shot right here. They leave after winning the match, and Trent's mom is there waiting. Sue in her new minivan. She's there waiting. The 3 guys get in. She takes forever to pull off. She's an older lady. Makes sense.
Typical moms.
She starts moving. She stops. She puts her hand out and gives the middle finger to Santana and Ortiz. So it was a real funny, entertaining
that's the
thing.
way the show ended.
That's the way the show ended.
It was a nice little ending, and fuck you to Santana Ortiz, who lose again, by the way.
They lose again.
All they ever do is lose. When's the last time they won a match, goddamn it?
No, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they beat best friends in the ring in a regular tag team match.
Okay,
but this match right here was the end of the feud, so we'll see what happens there. But you see how this is the good thing about factions, because a lot of the guys like kind of spider off and then just intertwine with each other eventually as they go. But this makes good stuff, yeah. But it was a super, super entertaining match to end the show, and it was the highlight of the Wednesday Night Wars. Guys, and that's our 5 takeaways. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. Remember to drop a like on this one, share it, let your buddies know what's up, and check out the channel. And without further ado, guys, remember for the work done, I do the job.
Later, Marks.